Greetings and welcome to Zord's Planetary Space Program episode 20 and part 2 of our construction of Gamma Station, our space station around Eve. We start off this episode by aero capturing the third part of the space station, the one that's been called Eve Station Supplies. So we do this gratuitous re-entry again, because it's quite fun with that much fire. It won't be as much fun if and when the re-entry actually gets dangerous. So in that case we would have to use a significantly different mission profile, or at least a mission profile that is more expensive. And here, when we are trying to make our encounter, we notice a problem. They're out of sync. Badly. So, we wait for orbit after orbit after orbit. Yeah, quite a lot of orbits, and I skipped this forward for you because this took a long time. So, from here, it's easy. Now we just do a slight correction. Well, yeah, kinda. And we should be able to get a matching encounter. Because, well, we have gonna do 2 nodes, and how can we make this work out the best? Oh, we have an alarm for the Eve Ascension system, or Monstrosity, or just Eve Ascender. It's time to do all the things that we have done before. And yeah, this is, as you know, very clumsy and difficult to maneuver craft. So just that short, turning the craft and doing a short maneuver took a long time, and it was boring, so I cut it. In the meantime, our Eve Station supplies have gotten itself into position, and yeah, this is the problem here. We have orbits that are quite different, relative velocity that is very high, upwards of a kilometer per second, and to be able to brake early enough to get the relative speed down, we need to start doing the burns very early when the orbits are far away from each other, and yeah, well, it works, but it's not pretty. Eventually, however, we arrive and we are able to get in close and dock. So we have this large docking port, which I'm going to use to just dock like that, no problems. And then this thing is several parts, so yeah, first get daylight. And then I'm going to separate the fuel tanker part, like so, and put it on the side, because we want to be able to access the service ship, which is now the outmost part of that arm. So I, for some reason, decide to dock this backwards, and it turns out those engines could be a problem. I could, of course, remove the engines because they're modular, but I wanted to try to work with first, and yes, indeed, it did. But it was very close. I'm not doing that again. So, now we have our Eve Ascension system, or let's just call it the EAM. We have arrived at Eve, and we do not have a lot of fuel left in our pusher, and I don't want to steal any more fuel from the system itself, because, well, we need that fuel and we're gonna have to take it from somewhere. So I do a lot of thinking, calculating and planning here to get the delta V needed to get into a good orbit as low as possible. And we're gonna start by doing quite aggressive aero braking, because we want our apoapsis to be lower than the other flights, so that we have to spend less fuel circularizing the orbit. So there we go, just doing that node, getting it down. It's, as always, wobbly and shaky because we are still having the structural problems with using only one of the normal size docking ports. Hope it holds up for this atmospheric entry. Well, actually it should, because the aerodynamic stresses in this game are usually low. But dang, that's a lot of fire. Oh yeah. as I said, luckily we do not have any sort of damage because of re-entry, or in this case just entry. This ship has never been to Eve before, so we can't re-enter something for the first time. That would sound dumb. So a lot of fire, and our apoapsis is getting down, and it's getting quite low and good. And yeah, let's see what it's like when we come out here on the other side. Still fire lingering. So much fire. Here we go. Yeah, that's okay. That's quite okay. But yeah, we're gonna have to do some maneuver now to see our values here. So if we raise the periaps, and yeah, yeah, I spent a lot of time thinking about this, and finally came up with something that should maybe work. I think I have 300 meters per second in the tanker, with the whole system attached, of course. So we do one burn here to raise our periaps. We need that so that we don't re-enter the atmosphere. Actually, maybe we do want to re-enter the atmosphere. Maybe we want to do another aerobraking to lower our apoapsis and save so much fuel. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do, because that might very well be exactly what we need. Yeah, look at that. We lower our apoapsis to a much more reasonable value for free. Because yeah, we needed to raise the periapsis anyway. And from here we can circularize an orbit. We don't have as much fuel left, but we still have quite a lot of fuel. So yeah, let's circularize this orbit, and that's very reasonable. That's very reasonable. Now, we're not going to rendezvous with Gamma Station because this craft does not have any spare docking ports in this configuration. The only docking ports we have are the ones that is already being used, so we had to dismantle the ship, and well, also we would add like twice as many parts as are already there, so the lag would be substantial. And if we keep them separate, it's manageable, completely okay, as I would say. So we're gonna keep them separated, but we're also gonna have to refuel both the pusher, and we're gonna have to give back the fuel, or give the fuel to the ascension system that it never got. So we are going to have to refuel, but there's an obvious and easy solution to this. That is that we separate the craft as it is now, and send just the pusher to the station, because the pusher on its own, with the fuel it still has like a kilometer a second delta V, which is a lot more than needed. Yeah, so now we notice that we have the same situation with the periods not matching up at all. So we're gonna have time warp and just wait until they do. And now I have done this for you, so we're just gonna do this tiny burn. And with an almost empty fuel tank and 4 nuclear engines, the thrust to weight ratio is as good as you could expect. That is, it's unusually good for something this interplanetary. Also, we have different inclinations, because I didn't want to bother with it, with the large and unwieldy craft of the EAM, yeah, that's it. And yeah, it doesn't really matter because we're just going down anyway, and with the relatively small inclination that we do have, we should be able to land in a good spot regardless. But when we're doing this rendezvous, we have to at least care about it. So we fly the pusher up to the station, and it's yeah, it's quite an agile, maneuverable craft. It's not quite as balanced as it maybe should be, but you know, it's certainly good enough. It's those nuclear engines hanging out the back that makes it unbalanced. So we fill it up, or we don't fill it, we make it a bit more than half full, fuel that the station has plenty of to spare, which is the reason I put it there. So yeah, going back, we have the same problem again. We have the periods of the orbits not matching up even almost. So we're gonna have to just wait until they do. And going back, I make sure to fix one of the problems before they arise. That is, I make sure that our encounter is at one of the ascending or descending nodes, meaning that we don't have to bother with the inclination, because it will be taken care of in the kill relative velocity burn, just like everything else. So we just get this maneuver down to 0.0 meters per second to make sure that we get the encounter that we want. We time warp, and here we are. And whoop, that relative velocity again. Too used to flying around at minimus. But fortunately, the mentioned thrust to weight ratio does its thing, and we are able to salvage the encounter. And without much problem, we get back to the Eve Ascender. And we dock, and then we transfer the fuel. And that's it. We are done at Eve. We are only waiting for our Kerbals. And that's it for this episode. Bye!